Thank you guys for clicking on this video. This is Sith Kills, otherwise known as Nick. This is my brother here. We're going to be talking Multiverse of Madness today. This is going to be spoiler review. It's just not going to be not, like play by play. We're just going to kind of talk our general thoughts, maybe talk about some scenes. But yeah, just going to have a kind of general discussion. Hopefully you guys enjoy. But Broham, what do you think of this movie, man?
I was very disappointed in it, to be honest with you. I went in there with a lot of expectations, thinking I was going to see, a lot more Professor X, like in Deadpool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even Hugh Jackman, I thought was going to come in as Wolverine. But after what we got, with the Illuminati, it just wasn't good, bro.
Yeah, I thought we would have a lot more cameos. Um I am a little happy we got John Krasinski just because it was like a fan pick, like a fan choice. It was something that everyone that was online wanted. I like that they did that, but yeah, I didn't like how
Hmm.
they, you know, introduced the Illuminati and how the Illuminati ultimately ended.
And that was just a fan casting. Reed Richards, what's his name? John Krasinski, I think that's you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
That was just fan casting for like 15, oh man, well, I say 5, 10 years. People are saying he's going to be Mr. Fantastic and his wife's going to be, the Invisible Woman. But like I said, what we got was just like whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I would really like to see Emily Blunt and John Krasinski be the main Fantastic Family, but I don't think we're gonna get that because I heard from like different videos that I think what's her name, Amanda Seyfield might be Susan Storm, and I forgot who the
Amanda, Amanda Seyfried, I haven't heard about that one.
yeah. Well, this is one video. I don't know if it's true or not. This is a rumor, but I think they just kind of did that just because they wanted just to, hey, we're gonna give you John now because he's definitely not gonna be the main one. You know what I mean? Like this some
Hmm.
universe are gonna turn your dreams into spaghetti, which is basically what they turned him into. But
Hmm.
I mean, this movie when it first like started, like with that whole CGI and America Chavez running with, you know, Doctor Strange or a different
With a
version of
yellow
Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, with a
Hmm.
ponytail Strange. And I don't know,
Hmm.
like the CGI just seemed really bad initially. Like you could tell. I mean, obviously that it was a green screen, but it was just I don't know. Like it's just gotten worse. Have you seen any like worseness as far as quality when it comes to the CGI?
Um, Doctor Strange's actually, yeah, was okay. I mean, I didn't see anything too, wrong with it,
Mhm.
but I
It
mean, I do see the quality of the movies, that are being released. CGI in general is not that's not that good.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Just to me, like if you look at like the Avengers movie that was 10 years plus ago, and you look at the CGI that was in that movie compared to like the CGI that's come down in the last couple of years, like it seems like
Hmm.
the 10 years ago CGI was way better than today's CGI. And like I don't know if you've seen those videos of those, people that are doing the CGI right now are coming out against Marvel saying that, you know, the working conditions are ridiculous, that the deadlines are, unreachable, and they keep having to basically give an unfinished product. And
Yeah.
and it shows. It really shows in the end product. I mean, especially with
Well,
Love and Thunder.
well, no, I think Disney, I think the movie was originally going to be like almost 2.5 hours long. Doctor Strange, right?
Mm,
But I think it was like 2 hours and 7 minutes, so they cut a lot of film away from that movie. And I heard they even filmed the scene with Ryan Reynolds.
really, Ryan Reynolds?
That's what I read. Like him in costume and everything, but it was cut.
That would have been interesting. I mean, there's
You know.
like this movie could have been good. Like you've seen, some of Sam Raimi's like genius in it. Like some
Hmm.
scenes, like when Wanda was in that mirror dimension and she was stuck and she had to like put her hand into like a shadowy part of that mirror in order to come out in another shadow part of the real world. I kind of
Hmm.
like that, like that kind of stuff. You kind of saw Raimi's genius, but he was
You
very
mean his horror?
tamed. Yeah, like
Yeah.
his horror side. I mean, you saw
Yeah,
his
horror. Yeah.
creativeness.
Well, was it Scott Dickerson, the original director from Doctor Strange one? You know, he got cut from the second one because he wanted to do too much anything hard.
Yeah, I gotta think I gotta switch my camera around here because I'm looking at you and I'm not looking at the camera at all.
Hmm.
But who? Scott Dickerson?
Yeah, yeah, the original director of Doctor Strange one. Yeah, he was supposed to be for the Doctor Strange two, but for creative differences, he was cut out. You
Oh,
know, the director of the movie The Black Hat. I'm sorry, Black Hat, The Black Phone.
yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
I didn't know because I mean a lot of the directors for like the original Marvel movies like they tend not to come back. Like the guy who originally directed Thor, like he didn't direct Thor 2 or whatever. I like that director who originally directed the first Thor. That was a good. Mm.
I think it's Kevin Kavanaugh. He's an actor director.
Yeah,
It
he's
was.
a, good at both. He's a great fucking director and a great actor.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Like this movie like it you can tell like it was redone, rewritten, reshot and repieced together, several times. And it's because of the movie release order and Spider-Man, uh No Way Home. Was it No Way Home? The
Hmm.
third one?
Mm, yeah.
No Way Home,
Right.
right? Yeah. Cuz it was
Yeah. Far from Home, Homecoming, No Way Home. Yeah.
yeah. I always forget because why did this call it 1, 2, and 3, man? Like this, No Way Home, The Homecoming, whatever, it gets confusing sometimes. But yeah, supposedly that movie was supposed to come after Multiverse of Madness and not before it. And because
Really?
because it was like released in a different order, they had to reshoot it. And especially with the Disney Plus shows, like it happened to connect with the movies. They kind of that and plus like the whole whatever pandemic bullcrap. They had to change some of the
Hmm.
storylines of the TV shows, and then ultimately caused reshoots for the movies. So it was just a big old mess, which you can tell. I mean, just based on just how just watching the end product, you can definitely tell how messy it is.
Yeah,
But
man. Like, I mean, it was a missed opportunity. The movie should have done over $1 billion easy. You know what I mean? But I don't think it was. I don't know if they got any release in China, but still, you know, 900 plus, not too shabby. But it could have been better.
yeah, I mean, I think obviously it was the hype after the Spider-Man movie. I mean, if the Spider-Man movie didn't do that well, I don't think Multiverse of Madness would have had done that well. Like it
I
would have
haven't even
trickled down.
seen Thor. I haven't even seen Thor, but I heard I got a
Mhm.
68% drop over the weekend from the first weekend. So people are saying that it's a lot of propaganda in the movie. I haven't even seen it, but I gotta see because my boy Hemsworth.
Well, okay. Like I mean, hell, Chris, he got fucking buff. He got
Yeah, I know.
huge.
Damn
Like
right.
his arms
Yeah.
are like
He's
three times
a
bigger.
Arnold
As,
Schwarzenegger,
that's what I'm saying. Like he looked like a bodybuilder. Like, so
bodybuilder. Yeah,
I
he
had
looked
to
like a
give it up.
bodybuilder. It
Yeah.
looked like a bodybuilder that skipped leg day, but it's all good. Chris, you can watch it. It's all good.
Yeah.
I get it. Legs suck, but you know what? From hip up or waist up, man, he look great. He looks
No.
good all around, man. I'll take his body. He looks good.
No, he works hard, man. I mean, like I said, I mean,
Hmm.
it wasn't his fault in the movie. And we'll talk about that movie when you watch it. But I don't know. With Doctor Strange, though, I gotta say, Elizabeth Olsen, I thought did a good job. Like with her acting and her portraying herself as evil and menacing and a threat. Like I thought she did really well.
Yeah, I
But
wouldn't mind seeing more of that though.
yeah, and like it just wasn't earned. Like if you watched WandaVision, like they had a conclusion. Like she realized what the wrong she did. She took over a whole city. You know,
Hmm.
basically stopped them from doing the everyday life and basically kept them prisoner. And she realized that right at the end. But in this movie, they just totally bypassed that and just use the excuse that the Darkhold, made her evil. And it seems like a trend now in the Marvel movies where it's always like an artifact or object that makes the villain evil. It's not. It's not. It's no longer the villain's evil for being evil, like Joker. Sadistic.
Oh yeah,
There's
it's Disney, man. They got to
yeah,
PG that.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like, you bought a property that doesn't thrive on only PG. Like there's so many storylines, especially when you come to like Blade and Morpheus, that should be in the rated R realm and never should be
Hmm.
anywhere close to the PG or PG-13. Like there's animated TV shows that went, more gory, than some of these movies, and it's getting a little ridiculous because these storylines don't thrive in that that limited of a rating. You can't make
Yeah,
Thor, and this is what reminds me too. Like they're making these movies silly. Like there's one scene in this movie where they just got finished killing the octopus, that one eye or whatever, and they're in the like their little restaurant and they're talking with Wong and Doctor Strange and America Chavez, and they're talking about world stakes, like the world might end because of these things, and they're just talking around random civilians, like everyone's just having a blast, and she's making jokes about certain things or whatever, and everything is just really lighthearted after seeing another Doctor Strange die. It's like they bypass the emotional part of the scene, in order to get to the quickest joke. Is kind of like
yeah.
trend now, you know.
Like a series, yeah, yeah. That's Disney, baby. Yeah, that's Disney writing, or the CEO of Disney come in and then giving his 2 cents and say we need more of this and less of that.
I miss the days when studios like Paramount were involved, like with
Hmm.
Paramount with Iron Man, and I think they did
The
something
Incredible
else.
Hulk.
No, Thor. They did Iron Man and
Oh no, not
Thor.
Incredible Hulk. Incredible Hulk was Universal.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
Hulk
right. They
was
did do
Thor.
Thor.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I think it's like
How about Captain America? They do that too.
I don't. I think Paramount did all of them, right? Like they had a contract, maybe. I don't know. I know they
Like
did
three.
for sure those two, but I forget who did Captain America. But I know after those three movies, after that, it became Marvel Studios.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
so that became Disney, right?
yeah, but I mean, they had it all laid out, like all the way until Endgame. They stretched that out though, but they had it laid out. They had a plan.
Hmm.
But I mean, that's the reason why you could tell after Endgame. I mean, like the quality of content and storyline and progression, and like just the whole ending arc of each movie as its own separate entity, like
Hmm.
became belittled, for the overall narrative. And it just sucks, because you kind of lost the whole point of what people loved about the cinematic universe. Not only that
Yeah.
everything was connected, but each movie felt like it had a beginning, end, and a beginning and end. Like it didn't, it wasn't just a setup for something else, or
Hmm.
wasn't like, you know, silliness like we're in this movie, for instance. It's not only is our Earth is at stake, but other Earths and like in other universes. But
Hmm.
suddenly nobody else is around. No, you know, Miss Marvel, no, Hulk, no Thor. Like we're
You mean in the other universes?
no, like in this movie in general. Like, why didn't Doctor Strange go seek other help? Like, okay, for instance, like
Oh.
why didn't he go get the closest other person to Wanda, which was Hawkeye? Why didn't he get
Mm.
Hawkeye to try to talk Wanda down and make her realize what she's doing? I mean, because out of everyone, Hawkeye was the one that broke her out with Vision. Hawkeye was the one that gave her that extra confidence boost in Age of Ultron, and that's one scene where
Yeah.
they were talking in that little shop or whatever they were stuck in.
Hmm.
But overall, other than Vision, Hawkeye was the closest thing to her brother. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I didn't even see that TV show on Disney Hawkeye, so I don't even know what happened or why he wasn't in there. I don't know if that explained anything, but
I haven't seen it. Like after WandaVision, no, sorry, after Captain America and Falcon,
I
I
didn't even watch
stopped I
that.
stopped watching it because it got too agenda oriented. The message bullcrap,
Hmm.
and it just I don't know. It got in the way of the story, and it sucks because like I was really excited about the TV shows. But I mean, like WandaVision started off interesting, and it could have been something really cool. But that whole, you know, Jake Boner or Russell Boner or whatever thing tease that they gave us in that show was really messed up. I gotta say, because they're
Nah, I kind of forgot. What do you mean? What happened in
remember
the
they
show?
remember they had the guy who played Quicksilver in the Fox universe.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah,
had
yeah.
that guy. He was this. We all thought that oh my god, they're bringing the Fox universe to Marvel universe, and this is the proof, right? That we got this little cameo. But this whole
Mm-hmm.
time, I forgot who finds it. I think that one girl, but she finds his like ID card and it was his driver's license. His last name is Boner, and I think his first name was Russell or something like that. So it was like they gave up our hopes and gave us a boner joke. Is basically what Marvel did, which I thought was
Mm.
very very immature for them to do because like he has nothing to do with the Fox universe, even though he's the same character. He's not really Quicksilver.
Mm.
He's some dude named Russell Boner or whatever. But
And no, I had nothing to do with Quicksilver.
nothing to do with Quicksilver.
Yeah, I
Nothing.
must have totally missed that. See, that's how much I pay attention to the show. It was stupid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's when it really shown to the audience that they don't give a shit about us. They don't. They just want to
Yeah, they
give
want to make
us
money.
well, not they think that they've built up something so big that even if they produce shit, it's fine. They'll watch it anyways.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Miss Marvel is not doing well right now at all.
Yeah, that looks stupid.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, it just goes to show. I mean, like with this movie too, Doctor Strange, like it really could have been something great, but
No.
it it just I don't know. They just I mean, especially with Sam Raimi attached. I mean, that could have been so great. And then it coming right after a Spider-Man movie, you would think, Spider-Man first of all would have been involved in this movie because
Hmm.
Spider-Man has his own basically multiverse and he can connect with other multiversal Spider-Man. So it would have made
Yeah, but
sense.
well, at the end of Spider-Man, remember everybody forgot him, including Strange, right?
Well, supposedly, yeah. But
Yeah.
at the same time, still, like, you would have thought that, Spidey sense and all, them being in New York, all this happening in, initially in New York, that he would have sent something. I mean, like, there's so many things. I mean, Strange himself could have contacted, he contacted Wanda, but he could have contacted other people during the whole, duration of the movie that could have helped,
Hmm.
and I don't know. Like, it just wasn't everything they were trying to go for as far as like a story didn't really portray well in live action. Like on script, it probably was great, but it didn't portray well. Like when Wanda went to Kamatosh and tried to get America Chavez, like all the wizards put up a shield. How come nobody was like conjuring a portal like in between her and cutting her in half like Wong did in Infinity War with that big dude cutting off his hand and all that. Like, there's so many different maneuvers and things they could have done to take care of her, but
Hmm.
they were more defensive, in
But then the movie would have been like 10 minutes, bro.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many things that like doesn't make sense that they could have and like okay, for instance, how she killed Professor X. I mean, that has to be the most
No, he
irritating
broke.
thing.
He broke the neck in the dream. What's wrong with
I know,
that?
I know. We talked about
Totally
this
cool.
last time on the phone, and like I said, okay, look, Professor X is the strongest mind in the world. He can literally freeze everyone's mind and freeze them like they can't move at all. Everyone in the world
Yeah,
at
but
once.
he never had to deal with the Scarlet Witch.
Oh my god! It doesn't matter if she's a witch. She doesn't have like this like any powerful mind that like that can overcome Professor X. She breaks his neck, right? I mean, she breaks his neck in her
That's
mind.
doesn't that send a message, right? Isn't that like part of propaganda? Doesn't matter how strong your mind is, a man, we can still go in there and break your shit.
Pretty much. And like, yeah, I was watching Pitt's meeting. This is the guy on Screen Rant that makes fun of some, pitches. Like he goes
Uh,
into a movie studio and he pitches a movie idea. And then he was talking about Captain Carter, and he's talking about all the death, and he's all like, "So what happens to Captain Carter?" And the guy from Pitch made 50% off. He's like, "Well, that's a good deal, I guess, because she
Mm,
was cut in half, 50% off."
got it. Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know. I
People are
just
laughing right now.
yeah, right. But I don't know. I just think that this whole movie was a missed opportunity. America Chavez as the character herself wasn't great. Like
Yeah,
acting.
that was yeah. They put too much emphasis on that character and the characters again.
Well,
Yeah, I get it.
what do you think about the whole scene where she killed her two moms with a bee because of a bee? Like she
Oh,
conjured
like
her.
this.
Well, she conjured
Mm-hmm.
her first portal because she got scared of a bee, and then sent her moms to a different universe.
No, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that was dumb.
Like, come on, who wrote this? And or what about when they went to the the fucking first universe where green light means stop and red light means go, and she coincidentally stepped into this little circle that tells you the most emotional part of your past, and then that's when you see the B part. I'm like,
Yeah,
come on, like this is getting a little bit too dumb. Like, there's more ways for you to introduce a storyline like that than accidentally stepping on something that tells the audience, the saddest moment of somebody's life. But it's
yeah.
shit like that that just makes this movie that bad.
Nope. Agreed, man. That's why I watched it 1.5 times, and that's pretty much it.
That's why I like that movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, I know you didn't like it, but that movie did Multiverse better. Like, story and like just the whole ending, like you actually felt involved with the characters and the whole
Listen,
mother.
man. The best part of Everywhere Ever was it Everything Everywhere All at Once was the
The
fact
hot
that I
dog
found out
fingers.
that
The hot
huh?
dog fingers, you don't like that one?
No, no. You know who the husband was, right?
Yeah, the husband was the little kid from Indiana Jones.
In the Goonies,
Yeah, and the Goonies. Dude, he acted
and
the same as his
his,
kid. He
his
acted the
voice
same.
never changed.
No, his mannerisms never changed either.
You know.
He
So
was.
what's up with Michelle Yao being in like so many damn movies and cartoons now recently? It's crazy.
She's a great actress. First of all, she like
Yeah.
did a really good job in that movie, and so did the kid from Indiana Jones. Like he did so good as the husband, like going back and forth between characters, and I don't know. I thought it was great, but it put this movie to shame. Like literally, like story, everything, like just put it to shame.
It was an alright movie. I don't know if I put it to shame. That's a movie I would never watch again. Just to say that. I was like, when is this movie gonna end?
So I don't know. I think you just don't like things with good story.
I don't like things that are too complex.
Yeah, you're like just get to the point. Just get to the action.
Exactly. They're here to blow shit up. I don't even watch that movie because my son want to watch that.
Yeah. Well, what do you,
Jaden.
Jaden? What do you think of the ending of this movie? By the way, Doctor Strange, like Wanda killing herself, like Game of Thrones style, with a bunch of bricks. You think she's dead?
Nah, I don't think so.
You think when she comes back, she's gonna be forgiven, like in the end of Wanda? They'll never know what you sacrificed for them.
Mm-hmm. Most likely. They have to.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Well, anything else you want to add on this horrible, horrible movie?
No, man, I'm surprised we spoke this long about it. It's crazy.
Well, hey, I don't know. I think when you don't like something, you have more feelings towards it, and you just I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
have more stuff to talk about. But I mean, like I said, when you actually saw Raimi take over, it was great. Visually and where he was trying to go, story wise, as far as the horror aspect of it. But you can tell when Marvel took over and said, "Hey, stop that, Raimi. We got to start putting some Marvel crap into this." But I mean, especially with the zombie strange part, I did kind of enjoy like he used those ghosts as kind of like a cape, like the flying cape he usually has, and he used that to her. But the thing that pisses me off most about the movie is that Wanda never like she had at least 20 minutes or something like that, like screen time of killing America Chavez that she never did. she like waited for Doctor Strange to become Zombie Strange, and waited for that whole altercation where Zombie Strange, half face coming off and all that. So you
Hmm.
can beat her, America. You can get her. Like, but I don't know, man. Like it's, I don't know. Yeah, it just didn't do it for me. But yeah, hopefully, I kept saying this in my, the short videos I did. Like, hopefully they change and they get their feet back on the ground. But it just doesn't look good. It seems more important to have a message or agenda for every film rather than the story actually making sense or a coherent point. You know.
Yep.
But anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This is a review, two brothers talking movies, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Come back for the next one.
There you go.